calling every now and then, and not one person, not two people. So say, this man will never be paying taxes because he will always say at I'm young,
yes,
not be paying
graduated tax.
So I started paying him. I said, I will study. Because I had already heard that people are working, they pay tax to government.
Yes.
So I said, I will study also at least
paying tax.
Pay. So then I kept growing up with that passion of speaking on behalf of a child.
Yes.
Then later, I decided to work with children. So when I finished campus, I started working in primary schools back in my home district, Weru district. I was working with Skoa Uganda, working in primary schools, studying about HIV/AIDS. Then after 1 year, I joined Compassion International as study projects, still as a child advocate. And that actually shaped my desire and passion for working with children. I even did a 1 year course in child protection.
Bullying actually shaped your future?
Yeah, bullying actually shaped my future. So for me, challenges have really shaped what I am today. Some people think that challenges are bad, but to me, they have made me what I am.
Who are these people who are trying to bully you?
Old people, villagers. You know, fellow villagers, and these are old people. Yeah, not just only peers, but old people even. Youth, like someone who
they didn't know that actually they
people
are...
do things ignorantly, not knowing what impact they are causing on a child. So to me, it was something that...
It made you angry?
Yeah, so angry.
So you said, I think I should be the last person to face this kind of bullying and all that.
Yeah.
Are you seeing, because, I mean, did you find that in the way these people were brought up, or it was just because of other social factors?
I think social factors around us. People take things for granted. Well, because also I was very young, I wouldn't pay keen attention of knowing that maybe it's what they are, their background, how they are being raised in their homes. Because these are your neighbors, these are your village mates that you see daily.
Yes.
So you don't take it serious, but you as a child, okay, you don't want to know what is happening in their homes. But you as a child, it largely affects you.
Yes. So like, after getting that, so you said, when I go to university, this is what I'm going to do.
What I'm going to do. And I would pray every day. I would tell God, for me, I want to work with children.
How would you define
working with youth?
Define for us parenting. What does it mean?
Parenting is a process of raising children, whether biological or not biological. But children that you're with. Then you support them and promote them. You promote their physical, you promote
support them, giving them money.
No, not money. You support them physically, socially, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. No, making sure that you raise them, that you develop them and promote all their abilities from childhood to adulthood. So it's a process.
Yes.
It takes, because you know there's different stages of growth. From 0 to 5 years, from 5 years to 10 years, then from childhood, from this infancy stage, you come to the teens, from teens you come to the adolescence, and then the youth, and then until you become an adult, when you, according to our Ghanaian constitution, is 18 years and above. But at a family level, even me and you still, we are children before our parents.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we have had single parenting, co-parenting, and of course, the normal family parenting that we know, mother and father. So do they have the same principles or practices?
No. Okay, first of all, somehow our parenting is determined by the styles, our parenting styles. So sometimes even when the principles are the same, but because of our nature, our background, the way we are nurtured, we cannot do the same things at the same time. So we were influenced by our personalities, how we are raised up and groomed. So a lot of things. So I can't say yes, much as we have clear principles of parenting, but
the way somebody is raised up, for example, if do you have, does it have any impact, for example, to be raised by a single parent, or raised in a normal family where there is a father and a father, or maybe a person parented by the grandfathers or guardians? Is there a difference in how actually we develop children?
Yes, there's a big difference, because, for example, a child who is raised by a single parent, especially children who are raised by only mothers, they lack a father figure in their homes. And that's always their desire, that I wish I had a father figure. I wish maybe, even actually right now we have parents. I mean, we have children who have both parents, but their fathers are not in the house.
Dickson, can you tell that this person was raised by a single parent? From their conduct, from their behavior.
I may not somehow tell from what they are doing, but sometimes when you look at the behaviors of someone, you can say, but this child was not well groomed, was not well mentored. So you may not necessarily know that maybe it was one parent doing it, whether female or male parent, but you can look and say, this child was not well groomed. There's something lacking in this child. You look at the behavior, look at how they conduct themselves in public, look at how they do things, how they speak, you look at how they take life, they are not concerned. So you know there's something missing in this child.
Is it the same, does it apply to the same single, a single parent of a father or a single father and a single mother? If, for example, they are both raising a child, would you see a difference in these children?
Of course, children who are raised by mothers, they are more compassionate. They are more understanding. They are not so much violent because at least, mothers somehow bring their children together and make sure that they're in charge and control because they're always with them. Yet for fathers, we are always not so much into the children. You can be present, but you're not really so close and affectionate to this child like the mother. So somehow there's a difference. And then also, for example, let me give an example. Like for me, when I'm not at home, my children, we have 3 children. They all come and sleep with their mother in their bed. As long as I'm not at home, for them it's a sure deal.
Yeah.
It now for me when I'm there, I don't do that. Now you see the difference.
Yes.
So now what do you think?
When you are home and your mother is not there, they don't come to sleep with you.
No, they don't sleep with me, all of them.
You are rude.
No, I'm not rude, but
you're rude to them.
I'm not rude to them, but I told them, you guys, okay, for them, they don't even ask.
Yes, they know when that is there, we are not going.
But I'm just when I'm not there, they tell the mother that we want to come and give you protection. They don't tell me. Now you can see the difference.
Yes.
So as they come sleep with their mother, they get so much close to each other. They bond, they talk a lot, they share. Even me, when I was growing up, I would enjoy my mother's. Okay, I had both parents, but as long as my dad was not there, or in the morning, when we would wake up, the first thing, even before you think of going to school, you first run to your parents' bed, and then you first play in the bed and disorganize it.
Actually, that's Dickson. That's a very nice observation. When you are not around home, the parents, or rather the children, go to your bedroom and their mother
to protect the mother.
To protect the mother.
That means that now
it points to a lot. It speaks volumes to how actually fathers need to conduct in the homes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And for me, when I'm there, it's only my daughter who wants to come and sleep with me. Which it's
a vote of no confidence in the father.
In the father. For the boys, they say, Daddy, first we're going to our bed. Because they feel I'm the security, I can do anything. Yes. I can protect the family.
Yeah.
But when I'm there, if the boys feel, because I have 2 boys and 1 girl, so the first are boys.
Yes.
And these are just 10 and 9 years old. But they think that they are providing security to their mother, so their mother needs to be protected.
Yes.
And all of them feel comfortable with that. The mother also welcomes them, and so. So that means the way we are raised, someone who's raised by a single parent and someone who's raised by both parents, there's a big distinction.
Yes. Because
each parent has a way of grooming this child, especially when it comes to discipline. The way the father is disciplining the boy and the girl is different from a child who has 1 parent.
We are in a generation in a century where we are talking about children's rights. Of course, there's a very huge and a very big conversation about whether children's rights are justified in our societies or not. What do you think about those rights? And certainly because you'll see you're not supposed to beat them, you're not supposed to, and yet this was like a punishing tool for the parents. And we all went through this whole kind of parenting where we were beaten. And this is no longer a practice. It is called human rights violations or even child rights violations. What do you think about those kind of rights? Are they not taking us in a very wrong direction of society?
They're not taking us in the wrong direction. But the way we are implementing them on the children and the way even the children exercising them. Actually, most children, they want their rights and entitlement, but without responsibility. So for them, they have rights.
No, but Dickson, how do you ensure responsibilities in children, for example, for them to know that their rights, and because their rights means a blanket check?
Yeah, but they need to know. For example, let me give an example of, like, a child knows or should not. I am supposed to be going to school. It's my right to go to school. So
but it's also my responsibility.
Yeah, it's the child's responsibility to study and be in school. So for me, I would do my part to make sure that your right is fulfilled as a child. I pay school fees, I take it to school. But I will not force you to read. Like the way you said, you can take a cow to the well. Yes,
but you can't force it to drink.
So likewise, our children, or if I know that I'm supposed to be providing food for you, I will bring food and make sure that it's well prepared and it's on the table. But I may not really force you to eat the food, because it's your choice to eat the food.
But this kind of rights sometimes challenge our cultures, our faith, in how actually we're supposed to raise up children.
Yeah, the challenge is we are now copying a lot from the Western. Because like in the Western, a child can do anything. A child can cry, and before you know it, a child can even call police and say, my mother was, or maybe they just spank me, anything can attract police's attention, which is not the case here. So much as we haven't gone to that extent, but even then, I feel that our children, they know their rights, but they don't know their responsibility. For example, I have a cousin. The father was not paying school fees, and the child went to police and reported the case. And they called the parent and said, you must pay fees for this child. And the parent paid. And now the man finished the university. So you can say now, because the child knew his right, he was able to go and
report.
And request for his entitlement. But he knew that my responsibility also, as someone who reported, is to be in class and study. Right now, like I always tell my children, I tell them their rights, I tell them they should not be bullied, I tell them how to be assertive. I've taught them how to be assertive, how to be confident. If someone, maybe for example, abuses them and say you're short, you're like this, I always tell them what to tell them.
Yes.
So that they are not affected.
They can fight for their right and for their space.
But I tell them that as they are doing it, as they're trying to defend themselves, they should not abuse it. Don't again be the one to abuse. For example, if someone says that you are ugly, tell them it's okay to be ugly after all, right? That one I know, but it's okay with me, I have no problem with it. So that you can shut the other person down. Or one of my boys is short, and I'm told he always says that his fellow kids always bully him that you're short. I just told him, you know what, when they tell you you're short, for me it's intelligent. I just tell them that okay, I'm short, but here I'm cool, I'm kawa. And he enjoys that. So he told me, you know what, Daddy and Mommy, they tell me those things, they no longer make sense to me, because I tell them it's okay to be short.
Yeah, but as long as I am
as long as I'm able to speak, as long as I'm able to perform in class better than you. So now when a child tells the other one who has
they get a clear defense.
Yeah, clear defense, which was now different from me when I was growing up.
Yes.
Because I was also bullied.
You were not empowered with those kind of defensive mechanisms.
Instead they would put me down, but because I had that inner strength, the inner ability.
Which may not be in other children.
Yes, in other children. Actually, most children don't have that. So they lose a lot. They can't really know how to handle this kind of abuse.
Rights come with, of course, a lot of new things, new technologies, new gadgets, new social media platforms, communication channels, but also actually get exposed to cyber harassment, but also to content that do not deserve to be taken to children. How best can parents safeguard their children from harmful online content? Let's get to that.
Now, actually, I want to request parents to always pay attention to what their children are doing with these gadgets. Because, we get these gadgets and give them to our children, and we don't think about the consequences. And then you buy data, even for your child, and you don't even bother to know what the child is going to use that data for. The child goes on a phone, maybe even it could be for a genuine reason. But now they keep clicking things.
Yes.
These pop-ups which keep
and you see with the tech gadgets usually keep popping in different suggestions and all that. Yes.
And the kids want to follow and know what is happening. Then before they know it, they see attractive pictures. Then they want to know what is this picture about. Then they keep following. And these things have hidden agenda. A picture which looks like good outside, as they keep clicking, it takes them to, even us as adults.
Yes, it takes you to porn and all that.
Yeah, and we face these challenges in our offices, on our own gadgets at home.
Yes.
You follow a certain link thinking that you're going to get what you want.
And then you find...
Yes. Or you are reading the content of what you want exactly. But there's that advert. And then advert, if you're not careful, you click on it accidentally and takes you to porn. Now, For you're adult enough to say this is not for me. For me, I was on this side. You can't. Maybe you may guard yourself against destruction, but the child may not know that. So you continue watching and moving. So what I'm telling parents these days, before you give your child that gadget, when you buy data, what is the purpose of that gadget? And if you maybe you know that the child is somehow using that gadget for a rightful purpose, how often do you check to know what this child is doing apart from that purpose? Because, for example, since COVID, we are now most people are now doing things by Zoom, and of course, even our children sometimes learn on Zoom, but also other engagements on Zoom. So a child could be maybe on Zoom, and the Zoom, like even our children also, they have a lot of fellowships.
Yes,
which they do online on Zoom, and there's that of now virtual space. We are all actually now in the virtual world, but knowing that a child is using this gadget at this particular moment for this purpose is okay.
Are you supposed to be present when these children actually are using?
We are so much protective and present, especially during COVID. Before they went
because you also had time. Anyway, that time.
It's not that I had time. Actually, I realized that we are losing time on other things because we are always protective and wanted to know that they are using the gadgets very well. So we taught them how to use it. And that time they were still 8 years, 7 years, and around 5. So we taught them how to use these gadgets. And we told them that if you're on Zoom, for example, because sometimes you not be at home, you have the gadget there, but they don't know how to use it, and it's time and they have to be there. For example, like our children, they have a band, and they always sing, lead praise and worship on Zoom. So it was always like bothering us. You're not at home, then you're on tension. So we taught them how to use Zoom, what to do, how to switch on the Wi-Fi, how to so all these things they know. How if they are using a phone and they are using a laptop, how do they hotspot for internet? They know all these things. Even at that age,
they can have access.
They can have access.
But what is your role in ensuring that this access
is not abused? For example, they know that this is my laptop. I have given it for them to use it for this particular purpose, but afterwards they should keep
you have to categorically state the purpose.
Set clear boundaries.
Yes, boundaries of operation and how actually they have to use it.
Check the content. If, for example, I use it for other things, even
after using the content, you have to check what they have been actually doing.
Yeah, but sometimes they can have these gadgets for like every day. They have full access, not specific for that particular purpose. But then maybe for example, you give them a smartphone. Maybe.
But at what age should you be actually allowed to give, or should children be left to access these gadgets?
That also depends on what they're using it for. Because
depending, regardless of what they are going to use it for. But is it really necessary to have young kids
for example, if now your child is maybe even in high school, what is the smartphone for? I have seen parents who say, for me, before my child goes to campus, there is no need for a smartphone. What is it for?
But is it necessary, honestly?
It's not necessary. But
in this generation, it is, Dickson. Because like these days, like for example, high school, children, some schools are now using computers. They're no longer using exercise books.
Remember when we were speaking, we said it depends
on the environment.
You said, but at what age? What age exactly? I said that you should really see that by the time you give this child, it is a really need.
But for your children, they are still 8, 7, and all that, and 6. You were able to give them gadgets.
Because it's a need. Now another thing that now, for example, our children now, for example, the boys, we always send them out for different things, for training, especially during holidays.
Yes.
So because we wanted to keep in touch with them for communication, because sometimes we send a boarder to pick them. We don't go and pick them ourselves. So we gave them a small phone, what we call a touch, like a small, the one with
buttons. Yes.
So that when we want to communicate to them,
you can easily access them.
Or when they have something they want to tell us, they can easily. So like for example, now because we want our children to be more tech, compliant. At 5 years. Even at 3 years, actually.
3 years?
Even at 3 years, because some parents use this.
Dickson, 3 years, a child of 3 years?
Like some of them are given now a screen at home. Don't you have a TV at home? Who is watching it? And what time do they start watching it? So at 3 years, now these things are happening in our family. Especially for screens. But even some parents, they use these gadgets for games. Then the worst part of it is when they are using these gadgets for distraction. I am very busy. I don't want my child to disturb me. Let me just give him this laptop.
Yes.
Beyond the game.
Or the phone.
Or let me just put him on. Let me just switch on the TV that he can be watching. Then the whole day the child is on TV because you don't want to be disrupted. And that's where the dilemma is. So depending on the purpose of that gadget again, what is the purpose? Why are you giving this child this gadget at that particular moment? But this is just for communication. Just because now there's too much pressure. Your child tells me, "Mom, you must buy me this phone, even a better phone than what you possess." And then you go and get a loan because you don't have money, but you want to please your child. And my daughter, my boy, I will do this. When you go and borrow money, even get all your money from your saving, and then you buy this gadget, even better than what you have. Because for them, they know good phones now. You know what is good and what is not good. Or something they just see from their friends, and I want that phone like my friend. Even if they don't see that particular phone.
After accessing this kind of content, especially on these tech gadgets, children get influenced in very different aspects of life. How should parents, and how can parents really guide them to not to be influenced by this kind of content that they receive? Because let me give you an example. If a child is seeing somebody's pranking a parent, she or he may think that this is normal. It's normal.
It's the way to go.
And then you're going to prank your father. Before you know, you have a slap. How best can children, or parents, protect their children from this kind of influences? And some influences are not really good.
Not really good, yeah.
Yeah, you have practices of, for example, the same-sex, relationships and all that. They are all coming through that kind of content. But anyway, we'll have actual responses after this very short break. We are discussing parenting in the 21st century. With me in the studio is Dickson Tumuramye. Is a parenting coach, and of course we're going to take a short break. When we return, we want to start from that exact same point.
Better yields and increase their incomes
and turn their farms around into a profitable business.
We are back with season 2.
Catch us every Friday on Urban TV at 8 p.m.
Join us on these journeys and share in the farmers' experience
on the Shamba Shape Up, Uganda. Put it up.
Brought to you by
Gossip. Actually, we have been cancellized. Gossip ever on Ugandan television. Short circuit with witty success.
Red carpet, my name is Jackson Vunganyi. Thank you for hanging out with me. For more entertainment news,
I'm so excited. I don't know if you are excited to see.
Trends and movies.
Feel like you've never felt.
Entertaining you all day with our Urbantainment shows. Tune in to Urban TV on StarTimes Channel 230 and GoTV 375.
If you can think it, you can do it.
Your host this time, Savalia Hughes.
Many celebrities.
Your favorite TV show.
Salon Dark is back and art and better in I go.
We are back. We dive in hot topics.
So a relationship, you can love many.
Know your worth, period.
See that
with the web beef.
Sometimes informational, sometimes controversial.
A man
should love his wife. A woman should be submissive.
But they are all relevant to our life.
Be sure to join us for the new season of Saloon Talk every Sunday, 8 p.m. only on Urban TV.
Gossip is for amateurs.
Yes. And indeed, they always question. He doesn't want to talk about body for money.
All land belongs to the state.
Yes, they will compensate you, but according to the rates.
All new soul food on
Urban.
To survive.
We bring you facts and dissect them to make sense.
Ndoza si kya bwenkanya abaana baffe wano okubakozesa ebibuuzo bye bimu. Omwana ali wano e Kampala, amasannyalaze we gavaako, generator ng'etambi. Bakola test eno, bakola ndala.
We bring to you a new rice variety which is drought tolerant.
In search of gold flakes.
Enjoy your favorite shows that discuss national issues that impact society only on Urban TV. Find us on DSTV channel 288 and GoTV channel 375.
Acne has a negative psychological impact on the people who suffer from it.
Now, the other presentation is basically because of the complications of this condition.
Stress is everywhere, but how do we manage it?
Once you have hepatitis B, you always have to do what? To survive.
We bring you current, relevant, authentic, local and international news.
In a special series, Teachers Making a Difference.
We got the best performed girl in the government school, came from our school.
Uganda now is part of the global era.
Everyone in the world became Moroccan when we saw the performances of the national team.
So that's it from Focus on Africa for today. Thanks for watching.
It's not just news. We bring the world to you. Tune in to Urban TV on StarTimes channel 230 and Azam channel 356.
Urban.
Welcome back to The Big Issue. My name is Mubarak Mugabe. We are discussing parenting in the 21st century, and with me in the studio is Dickson Tumuramye. He's a parenting coach. I want to, before we left for a break, Dickson, we were still talking about dealing with consequences after realizing that the children are now exposed to this kind of contents from either sides. But before we get to that, I want you to first exhaust this issue of age. When can children actually be left with gadgets? But also when are children supposed to be starting school? We've had that also conversation about age of children and what the children should be going through at particular ages. You can actually have some insights on that.
Okay, so going back to the issue of the gadgets, and actually you talked about the age.
Should you first actually expose the gadgets to children before they go to school or after they have gone to school?
These gadgets also, I will keep emphasizing the issue of the purpose. Why are you providing, like for example, an iPad to a 3-year child? Or if you are tempted to give that child that gadget, for how long should that child use it? Because for me, I still believe that we should not be giving our children these gadgets as long as they're still very young. If there is no serious need for them. But if it's for like academic purposes, where they have to be like
academic purposes for a 3-year-old?
Not 3-year-old child. So that child could be like games. Just even like not even your children when you reach at home. It's Daddy, it's just, and they have their games on our phones
and they know how to
access them. And if you just see the apps on your phone, and then you only want to watch when they are playing and know what kind of game is this. So there, as you somehow don't want to let them be out of not because there's peer pressure, they're also like trying to compete with their colleagues. So somehow you can just They just give you and you do what you want, like that game. So the content matters. What the child is also using the phone for at that particular moment and for how long also matters. So the age group varies from the need.
But I thought there should be like a minimum age.
The minimum age should be
first of all for tech, but also for school.
Okay, we're still on tech. We're coming with school. So for me, on the tech, on technology, on tech, my concern is about the need for
the purpose.
The purpose. But
once you clearly identify the purpose, the age may not matter.
The age may not matter because where we are now, that's the thing. It's like when we were growing up, we didn't know that having a phone was not necessary. You know, when we were at campus, because I'm sure that we are age mates, it was not necessary. But now, a phone has become part of us.
Yes.
For different reasons. So even our children, the purpose matters. Then the age group can come in, and then also the content, the age appropriate content can come in. Now, when we come to the issue of when should the child start schooling, again it comes back to our education system in Uganda. You know, the foremost education system is 742. 7 for primary school, from P1 to P7, then 4 for secondary, which we know as ordinary level, O level, then 2 years for advanced level or upper secondary, which we all call A level. But then, now these days, what is so common in private schools and government schools is now that there's kindergarten or nursery, the preschool, which is 3 years. Yes, which is 3 years. According to the Ministry of Education, the child should begin P1 when he's 6 years old.
Yes.
And that goes up to 12 years old because you spend the 7 years. That comes almost to 13 years. Then from there, you do the 4 years. So, but this by 18, 19, you should be finishing senior 6. But now, because we have nursery, and where now it has become a trend that your child must go through nursery. Everywhere. From where I started from, there was no nursery. I started from P1C.
Yeah.
That was maybe like my baby class. Then I had P1B, P1A. But now it's now P1, then the other categorizations are nursery. Baby class, you know, and even some come before baby class. So
yes.
For me, I would say that at least at 4 years, that would be a good time for a child to begin nursery. But because of the pressures also somehow,
the children go earlier.
So even at 3 years, the child can go. But depending, 3 years the child can start, but if you see that the child at 3 years is not able to do anything at school and even you're just wasting your money, then why should you take that child at that age?
Yeah.
So depending on your cognitive ability, the cognitive ability of your child, which your parent can be assessing, you can say maybe at 3 years the child, because for us our children, we took them when they were 3.5. Almost all of them 3.5. Because all of them were able. We would see, would even do some practicals at home. You do something and say, write for me this. You give them some exercise. Then you would see that this child can do it. But now it's changing where most parents, because of especially the working class, they have no maid, they have nowhere to leave their children, and then they leave their children, they take their children to kindergarten.
You may, for example, control your children from these gadgets, but most of the schools now actually allow gadgets. And you know most of our children are in boarding schools.
In boarding schools.
How do you deal with that as a parent?
Now, then that goes back, first of all, that goes back to the schools. At what age should you give, and which class should you give a child a gadget? And what are they going to use it for?
Yes.
And then that should determine when you need to give this child that gadget. And then for you as a parent, how do you monitor? Go for visits. Visit your child. Especially some schools have scheduled visiting days. Others can allow you at any time. Though identify those parents who visit their children now and then, so don't overdo it, because the more you overdo it, you obstruct them. So it shouldn't be so frequent. But at least always have visits. In a period where maybe the school
impromptu visits.
Yes, impromptu visits.
Yes. Check and see what is going on.
Yeah. Actually, you also go and attend classes.
Is that allowed?
Like for me, every time I go to school, I sometimes want to monitor and see what is being done. But you know, this day schools are understanding. These things of
you're allowed to go inside and sit in the class.
I want to see how my child is doing. I want to just be there and see what is happening, what is teaching. Because if a child
peeping
is
inside, you know, from maybe
in class. If a teacher is confident of what he's teaching, why is he concerned that you're going to sit there? Are you going to stop him from? You're not supervising him.
I have not seen that before.
Me, I've had people like, for example, you know, Dr. Senyonyi. He told us, yes. Now he's a former VC. He's retired from UC. But he says that for him, he used to do it with his children. For me, I have not yet, I want to start doing it. I have not yet practiced done it. But every time I take my children, I'm so much interested
in knowing what is how happening. They are taught, and you know, they are connected.
I greet the head teacher. I greet their teachers. I just don't drop and run away.
Yeah.
I just drop them and first see what is happening. They have entered. I see the teacher. I just But at the beginning of the term, when they are reporting, I make sure that I enter in their classes and greet these children, so they know me as the parent of my children. Greet them. What does it cost me? I know that my children's teachers. I have their contact.
But Dickson, where do you get all this time? We are working parents.
But you know, that's what I was going to say. You're working. Actually, no, we said we are investing for our children. Actually, we don't even invest in them. We think we are preparing the future for our children. We're investing for our children. Then we fail to invest.
Where will you get like the time?
So as we are doing this, where do you get time for working?
Both parents have to, chase for careers. How do you strike a balance to raise children? Because I have to be at work. I have to ensure that the family is provided.
It all goes priority.
I provide for the family, and I have to ensure that everything is okay financially at home. Where do you expect, Dickson, for us to have the time to even go to sit in a class of children and see how they are taught? Hey,
a day has 24 hours. Not so. Your child is at school almost like, let me use half. Maybe half. Maybe
close to half.
Maybe let's say 6 hours averagely. Now, those 6 hours in a term, you felt quite like 1 day or even 2 days to come and have like 30 minutes of just seeing how the environment is. Sure, then you're seeing you're investing for your children. How much are you investing in them? Much as you're investing for them. Because it comes back to what we are doing for them. So you might be investing for children. You're always struggling, juggling here and there. Going early, coming back late.
I leave home at 6. Yes. Go back home at 5 or 7.
Yes.
Between 5 and 7. Dickson, where do you expect me? Because I already have stress from work. I'm chasing many things at work. How do you expect me to even start going to look at how the children are, using their gadgets or what, even going to school and sit in a class? Honestly,
you see what?
Are you encouraging people maybe to have non-working parents or non-working partners?
Mbaraka, I want you to know that parenting is intentional. There's no option. 2, we always get leave. Even if you're a businessman. Actually, for businessmen, when they have time, actually, they are better than us who are working in offices. But you always have leave. So how do you schedule leave? And for what reason? Because like when I'm going for my leave, for my annual leave, I program it. I know that I'm going to go in this month because my purpose of going for this leave is to do ABCD. I am going to rest, but as I rest, I also want to achieve this. And among my intentions of leave should be giving enough time for my children. Because for me, I don't have a whole day. For them, they have whole day. They will come home and have their whole day. But for me, I only have to use leave. So how we prioritize our time matters. I also know that sometimes you are not 100% perfect, that you always reach at time at work on time. There's other days when you get there late for other different reasons. Not even jam, but for your personal.
You get tired. I mean, you get tired as a human being.
But you have to be intentional. This is, with parenting, it is you, and with your children, it is you that must model them in what you want them to be tomorrow. You must shape them, and they must see what you're doing. So create time. Talk to your boss and say, you know what, tomorrow I am going to, like the way when our children are reporting at school, we always ask for permission.
Yes.
Said, I am going to come late tomorrow
Because I'm taking back the children at school.
So even at so in the month you can tell your boss and say, you know what, I am requesting that tomorrow I come a bit late because I want to first do this at school for my children. And maybe this is how I'm going to compensate. For example, if you don't have leave at that moment, you can agree with the boss, this is how I'm going to compensate that time. And I don't think there's any boss who can refuse you to do that, because most of them are also parents.
I think that should come from the work environment. Bosses should be able to understand some of these things.
The way you negotiate, the way you present your matter.
Should it be even a negotiation between you and the boss, or it should be like a deliberate policy from all employers are required to give you that space?
Bosses who are very autocratic. Those authoritative, sectarian bosses, they don't want to know.
All they want is your...
For them, even if you have seen bosses where a woman gives birth by a C-section, and it is, say, after 1 week, I want you at work. Very insensitive, very inconsiderate. Those bosses are there. But I am sure that even then, it is you, the parent, make sure that you create time and plan well and say, even when this is happening, between this and this, I'm going to do this.
Let's go back to children. You are talking about, because we've handled the working parents. Should there be, for example, apportioning of roles? For example, the father should be able to attend to kids, let's say for this month, then the mother should take on the second month, because then if you're having both parents working, you're likely to have all of them actually absent. How do you deal with that?
That portioning may not come like the way I've said that 1 month, no. But let me give a daily, what happens like with me. I like to talk about my personal experience, looking at what I do. Now, for me, my wife works from home.
That's quite beautiful.
Yeah, she works from home, right? Because her work is, she's worked with Compassion International as a communication specialist for African region.
But she's working from home.
Yes, because yes, she's working from home.
Since COVID time, right?
Okay, as Compassion, they have that blended working environment.
Hybrid.
Yeah, hybrid. You can work from home. So for purely, she works from home. But for me, I have to go to office.
Yes.
So every morning, I am the one who takes students to school.
That is your responsibility.
It's my responsibility.
No debate about it.
No. If I am a neighbor, we agree. I am not going to make it so this morning. Maybe sometimes I can come with so many things I want, because I do many things here and there. And sometimes I want to use, for me, I concentrate well in the night if I want to do my personal business.
So she knows you must drop the children.
So we agree that now that I am going to do this in the night, I might be able to wake up early. So we are the one
kindly help.
Yeah, kindly help. So we agreed. Again, pushing the roles. You agree now, for me, I'm going to do this, for you, you do this. And then we see where we meet. If I'm not available,
you have to come in.
Yeah, you come in. So it's upon the family to agree. And
communication.
It shouldn't be like, now the issue of taking student to school, it's not that it has to be me, no. But we just agreed. Who is able to do it? And because now for me,
because you have
as
to
I drop them,
at the end of the day, you just continue to work.
Yeah, I mean, I continue to work. And I take them, and then for her, she has to remain at school. So it was not making sense for her to drop
and then coming back home. Yeah.
Then homework. Both of us, it's our responsibility. So for us, from 7 up to 9, there's no TV in our house, and they do it from the sitting room. I mean, from the dining.
And the children are now aware of that.
Yes. So there's no TV for all of us as adults. Even if there's something very interesting, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. There's no TV.
Authoritarian family.
It's not authoritarian. It's actually we are authoritative because we discussed with them.
Yes.
Actually, and first our children maybe they are very good because we understand each other and we always talk, and we agree on the discipline strategies. Because we have family identity, we believe that we are the Tumuranyes.
Yes.
We even have a government, so we agree with them. You say now, Mr. President, sir, because we have a president, a vice president, a prime minister. So what do you think? Because we are raising these children holistically, we are going to make sure we raise all their potential, different abilities. So
that requires a very stable family, intense communication.
Because I'm raising this child to be responsible tomorrow.
But sometimes some partners are not actually in that good communication.
Now that's where the problem is. But for us, the good thing that we are
in good communication.
We want to be a role model to our children. And we know we are marriage counselors. We are parenting coach. We are all child advocates. We want to make sure to walk the talk.
Yes.
So what we do with our marriage, what we do with our children
is what you speak to others.
We don't want to speak things. For example, I'm an inspirational speaker. I don't want to speak I just read things, then I come and say, no.
Say yes.
I want to make sure that what I talk is what I walk, is what I live. So I want to give practical solutions based on what I have seen that it works for me, it can work for you. It may not work for you the same way. But I say for me, I have done this, try it and see what happens. If it works for you, well, and if it doesn't work for you, there's this plan B.
There are those traditional roles of fathers and mothers.
But
how
now,
do you balance
these
them?
Days, things are changing by the way. For example, we grew up knowing that the raising of children is for only mothers. But these days, because of the working environment, the corporate class, things are changing. Because, for example, before my wife was working from home, she was working here in Kororo, which was still at head office of Compassion. But now she's attached to Colorado Springs in USA. That's where her bosses are. She used to leave home at 5 or sometimes 6 a.m.
Before you?
Before me. She gets home at 7, the earliest. 7 p.m. the earliest. But mostly, and she has left Kampala 5:30, 5. And then 2 hours, 3 hours, from Kampala to Mukono. That jam is not a joking subject.
So the roles have also shifted.
Yes, so I was always in charge.
You have to make sure the children have already taken bath. They have.
Yes. Now, even like on Sundays, okay, for her, she's a deep sleeper. For me, I wake up very early. So every morning, I wake up early, I prepare them. She sometimes even leave when she's not even aware that we have left. And it's okay with us. It's not a weakness that, as I say, no, because all of us have our own challenges here. We struggle in this area, but here we are superb.
Dickson, we have to wind up this conversation, but I want you to talk about influence. How do parents deal with the influence of, for example, content that these children have been able to access on these gadgets? How do you deal with them, and how do you put them in the right direction?
Now, parents are, first of all, as you give this guide to the child, make sure that you are able to monitor that content. And how do you monitor that content? Take time. For example, let me also begin with even TVs. Because some parents don't give gadgets to their children, but they all have TVs. Most of us,
yes.
TVs. As your child is watching that cartoon, pay attention to know why are they interested in that kind of a cartoon. Because children have particular stations of cartoons which they like. And even on those particular programs, they have their own programs which they like at a given period of time.
Yes.
Be inquisitive. Know why do you like this program? Take time to watch with them and know what they are watching. The adults, maybe first who have now, those who have youth, teens and youth, they have, by all means, they have these gadgets. They have these gadgets with them. But monitor, if they're on social media, are you part of social media? Are you part of any platform where they are? Because we have said we are now living in a virtual space, a virtual world.
Yes.
Where we have no option but to be there. So if your child is on maybe Facebook, are you friend with that child on your Facebook? Sometimes you may just be there, even if you don't like Facebook or
just be there to monitor.
Just be there to monitor what your child is doing. Because, and sometimes if you're a harsh parent, your child might block you. But this will be
no, you can't block me. I'm your father.
If you're a harsh parent and you don't, instead of coming and saying this was good, because now if you become authoritarian in parenting these days, you will not manage.
You lose the whole.
You lose the whole thing because our children are more quick. They are very assertive. They have high self-esteem. They are more exposed than us because of in these tech things. They are tech savvy and they are better than us. So you as a parent, you need to always talk to them.
Have you interfaced with parents whose children have blocked them on Facebook?
Yes. They say that for me, I don't know even what to do. Even some of them are not even there, so they don't know what happens there. But then they hear from others.
Yes.
There's another parent recently who sent me a message saying that my child, he was following for him, always follows the status of his daughter. So he told me that this is what I'm seeing from my daughter. How can I be helped? And we talked. And most of the things he was talking about, the daughter was talking about him. But how did he able to get that information? He was there to monitor what the daughter is always statusing.
Do you help some of these parents? How do they reach you?
Because they come. Like for me, my articles are always shared in the news visual, and sometimes on the data monitor, sometimes and it's always shared them weekly on social media, on WhatsApp, Messenger, and Facebook. And my
so they can
there.
easily access.
So they always contact me and get to me. Oh, now and of course I'm always out training and talks. They follow me a lot, so they always get back to me. I always get feedback. Others always get back to me, ask how can I go about this, and always tell them. We always chat and we share a lot. So monitor, and even on that phone, when you give it to your child, come and even go in the history.
Go and see the history, the recent content
what was the child trying to do? If they deny you at a point, maybe they did immediately.
Then
use different ways.
Exactly, yes.
No, as a parent, you have to be very wise.
And you have to be on the top of the game.
On top of the game, because much as they think that they are wiser than us,
but
you must be on top of the game. If you fail here, use here.
Thank you so much, Dickson, for that wonderful insights. And I hope that the children and the parents who are now home on Easter Monday watching this program, you've been able to pick one or two tips on how to deal with this whole issue of parenting in this 21st century. It's been Dickson Tumuramye, and actually is a parenting coach, and we've been discussing parenting in the 21st century. We are going to take a short break. When we return, Maizra Amit is sitting down with a city pastor who claims to have met God a few days while driving